All right, let's do it. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time. First day of July here in 2020. The first 6 months of the year are now gone. The last few months have seemed like they have lasted forever. But we are now halfway through the year, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do a little more reviewing of where we've been. And I wanted to show you this chart this evening showing the daily temperatures compared to average. Now, this takes into account both the highs and the lows. Any day that's warmer than average ends up with an orange bar here, and we signify the cooler than average days by the blue bars, of course. And the two most pronounced cool periods compared to average so far in the year were in April and the first half of May. Pattern kind of flipped around mid-May. Summer really got underway, and ever since then, the warmth has certainly, the warm days have certainly outnumbered the cool days. And I'm expecting a lot more orange bars to be added to this as we go through the month of July. Of course, July, the heart of meteorological summer. The temperatures, as far as the averages go, they don't move a whole lot during the month of July. We are generally 81 or 82 for an average high all month long. We'll have, I think, about 10 days where our averages peak, both the highs and the lows, but I'm displaying the highs here graphically. Our peak of 82 lasts roughly about 10 days during the middle of the month. And, of course, every month is warmer than it used to be. But July is one of those months in which the change has not been quite as noticeable as some of our other months. The warming of our climate here locally has been most noticeable early in the year, from December through January, February, and even into March. It becomes a little more muted in the summer, but nonetheless, we're still warmer than we were 30 years ago when we look at the average temperatures. The summer season is about 1 degree warmer than those same 3 months 30 years ago. All right, we're also, of course, as we get deeper into summer, we're on the other side of the curve here. We're starting to see less daylight, of course. We're losing a little bit of daylight each day. This process is pretty slow right now, but it starts to accelerate, certainly as we head towards the second half of July, and especially into August and, of course, September. Right now, our day length is still up there at about 15 hours, roughly. But by the end of July, our day length is closer to about 14 hours. We lose, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it's about an hour of daylight during the month of July. July is our sunniest month of the year as far as averages go, with only roughly 30%, 32% of July days being fairly cloudy or cloudier than sunny. So in other words, 7 out of 10 July days feature more sunshine than clouds. So it is our brightest time of the year. Now, interestingly enough, the record books are real interesting in 1988. And on today's date, July the 1st, 1988, we actually set a record low temperature. That seems counterintuitive considering how hot and dry the summer of 1988 was. But an interesting summer. We had a lot of record heat and a lot of days in the upper 90s and even some triple-digit heat on a few occasions. But of course, it was a pretty significant drought across our region, and there was so little water vapor in the low levels of the atmosphere that summer that it cooled off quickly once the sun set. And so actually, there are several record lows in our record book from that summer of 1988, including on today's date when it was a chilly 43 degrees. All right, time-lapse video from today. This is our Niles camera, kind of interest here. You can catch Venus rising in the eastern sky. This time-lapse starts at about 4:45 in the morning, maybe 4:40. And Venus was rising, and Venus is very bright in that pre-dawn sky right now as it rises a little bit before the sun does. And of course, once the sun rose, it was a gorgeous morning, bright sunshine. We had that field of cumulus clouds today, not quite as thick as it was yesterday, and these clouds are fading away this evening. Not a lot of barn burners on the national radar on this Wednesday evening. Showers and storms kind of along the East Coast and parts of the southern plains in Texas and underneath a cool trough in the Pacific Northwest. But no big severe weather outbreaks. And, this is kind of a typical July radar map. It tends to be kind of a quieter time of the year, with big tornado outbreaks becoming a little less frequent as we get into the heart of summer, and the jet stream usually is way, way off to the north. All right, once again, we'll blitz through the next few days quickly. Nothing going on. It's going to be a sunny day generally on Thursday. Showers missing us to the east on Friday. And for the 4th of July Saturday, what you see is what you get, a hot summer day. And the 4th of July forecast looks like this. We've got 90 in the forecast For the afternoon hours on Saturday, already by noon, it'll be in the 80s, and as maybe some neighborhood fireworks displays occur Saturday evening, legal or not, temperatures will be in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. All right, let's talk about this lunar eclipse coming our way. Saturday evening, you may have heard about this, and the weather looks favorable for us to view this. Now, this is not going to be a total eclipse, but a pretty decent one, and it will start at about 11:07 in the evening. Now, the maximum eclipse occurs at 12:30 in the morning, as the Earth partially passes between the Moon and the Sun. The eclipse ends at 1:52. Now, the Earth, Moon, and Sun aren't lined up perfectly, so again, not a total eclipse, but roughly the top half or top third of the Moon will become noticeably darker during the peak of this, again, a little after midnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning. So it's worth checking out. I think the sky will be clear, and so this is definitely worth checking out if you're up late Saturday evening and into the overnight hours. All right, otherwise our story, of course, is the heat. Check out the high temperatures right above my head here, 90s starting Friday and taking us through at least next Wednesday. Right now our forecast is for at least 6 days in a row of highs in the 90s. That would make it our first such heat wave since 1995. August of 95 is the last time we had 6 in a row. The last time we had 7 in a row was in that scorching hot summer of 1988. That heat wave actually started on the 4th of July that year. So this is going to be pretty impressive. Now, I don't think we're going to see temperatures getting into the upper 90s like we saw back in the summer of 2012, like we've seen in recorded history a handful of times, but pretty consistently in the low 90s, and maybe even a 94 on Tuesday. And just a reminder, once again, we have not been above 92 since it was 98 degrees back on July 18th. 2012. And it's going to be dry, too. No rain in the forecast until a week from today, possibly a shower or thunderstorm next Wednesday. All right, that's it for me tonight. Thanks, as always, for checking out the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. I will see you back here same time, same place on Thursday.